We all know that Rishi Sunak isn't very good at politics, but what he did today in PMQs was just disgusting. Entering the chamber like Billy Big Balls, he thought he'd prepped himself well for PMQs, got all of his scripted answers to questions he hadn't heard yet all prepared in his little red folder, only to try and throw out a cheap insult to Starmer claiming that he didn't know what a woman is. Just 30 seconds before, they had announced that Brianna Ghey's mother was in the gallery watching. You can actually see that it did knock him for 6, and he hadn't thought about what he'd said, he'd just said it because it's the spectacle of PMQs and he had it written down. So here he is making a fool of himself and of his government.
Mr Speaker, this week the unwavering bravery of Brianna Ghey's mother, Esther, has touched us all. As a father, I can't even imagine the pain that she's going through, and I'm glad that she's with us in the gallery here today. He says he stands by his commitments. He once insisted that if he missed his promises, these are the words he used, I'm the Prime Minister, and then he said, it's on me personally. Today we learned from his own officials that he's the blocker to any deal to end the doctor strikes. Yep. And he's always, every time he's asked, he blames everyone else. So what exactly did he mean when he said it's on him personally if he doesn't meet his promise?
Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, well, we are bringing the waiting list down for the longest waiters. We're making progress. But it's a bit rich, Mr Speaker, to hear about promises from someone who's broken every single promise he was elected on. I mean, I think I counted almost 30 in the last year. Pensions, planning, peerages, public sector pay, tuition fees, childcare, second referendums, defining a woman. Although, in fairness, that was only 99% of a U-turn. The list goes on, but the theme is the same, Mr Speaker. It's empty words, broken promises, and absolutely no plan.
Of all the weeks to say that, when Brianna's mother is in this chamber, shame, parading as a man of integrity when he's got absolutely no responsibility. Absolute. I think the role of the Prime Minister is to ensure that every single citizen in this country feels safe and respected. It's a shame the Prime Minister doesn't share that. I welcome the fact that he's finally admitted that he's failed on waiting lists in the NHS. I also welcome that he's finally acknowledged the crisis in NHS dentistry. He's calling it a recovery plan after 14 years of Tory government. What exactly does he think the NHS dentistry is recovering from?
Prime Minister.
As ever, Mr Speaker, he seems to convene...
Certainly not having enough of the front bench either. Please, I want to hear it. The election fever, I'm hoping, is not coming tomorrow, so let's not behave as though it is. Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, as ever, he conveniently forgets the impact of a pandemic on NHS dentistry, and it was specifically because of the close proximity nature of dental provision that it was unable to operate as normal throughout the pandemic. That was the recommendation of the medical and clinical experts, Mr Speaker, which is why inevitably there is a backlog in dental care and the impact that has. But that's why, as my honourable friend, the Health Secretary, will outline later today for the House, we're putting more funding in to provide more NHS provision across the country, on top of plans that will see the number of dental training places increased by 40%, Mr Speaker. But I would actually just point out, our plans mean that there will be 2.5 million more NHS appointments, which is in fact 3 times more than the Labour Party are proposing.
It's clear that Sunak doesn't get Britain. He doesn't know people, he doesn't know how to speak to people or act around them. And last week he was laughing at all of us because our mortgages have gone up. And you can see what on earth is going on in that video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.